slid this fence over for the bulls. April 2nd. I am unrolling a little hay every other day or so because that grass is not quite ready to be grazed non-selectively. It's not enough. Well, there is in spots, like back in this corner, we didn't quite graze it off that well. There's still some brown out there from the stockpile. But to add some more dry matter in with that lush green stuff to keep the rumen balanced and the manure pats looking good and not scouring them. Bringing out a little hay to supplement until this grass gets really taken off. And we're understocked with just the bulls on this little, I think 20 acres maybe. So the grass will get ahead of us, and then we'll be able to go back to grazing non-selectively. But got some South Pole bulls out here, some Charolais, and then there's a black one there. He's a bouncer, I believe. Half Gelby, half Angus. But all grass, no grain, no silage, grass and mineral, and a little bit of hay. And if your bulls can't get it done off that, well, they're too much maintenance, too much input, and overrated in my opinion. If they can't come out here in the real world and get it done, get cows bred on grass, especially selective grazing. There's no reason cattle can't get it done selective grazing. But these bulls are getting it done non-selective grazing. Breeding cows in the summertime, July, August, as well as some of them in the fall calvers, so they're breeding December, January. No feeder wagon, no silage pile out back. If bulls need silage and grain and high energy to keep their condition, I don't know. If it works, it works, but it's a lot more input in that style than putting them on grass. And half the time you bring them out here on pasture and they fall apart within a year or so because they can't handle it. Too big, or their genetics are jacked up from being fed the grainivore diet. But this part of the farm over here has been rested for quite a bit. Not ready to graze yet. It will be in another several weeks or a month or so, but we still got quite a bit to go. We're stripping it, heading this way, while moving the back fence, which is behind us, every several days. There's a little brown left out there. But for this little 20 acres, we had quite a high stocking rate this year running on it. There was always something running on it. I believe to start the year we had the bulls in here, and then once we turned them out in the cow groups, we had brought a bunch of weaned heifers, I think 60 head or more. Weaned heifers and some beefs in here during the summer, and moved them around. Didn't feed any hay through the summer. And then Once we pulled the bulls out of the cow groups, we turned the heifers out in the cow groups, flipped them, kept the bulls back here. And then once we turned them back out again, we brought some weaned calves and heifers and beefs in here as well. I think it was another 60 head or so for several months. So always had something on this little 20 acres. Fed a little bit of hay when those weaned calves were in here to extend the grazing and to supplement some and to put some extra fertility down. And sold the steers that were in that group, and the heifers are turned out in the cow groups. Took in some beefs to the butcher in March and got several going tomorrow for April. So yeah, just goes to show you keep them cattle moving. You can get through a drought, and we ran a pretty high stocking rate on this little 20 acres. But put a water line down along this fence line last summer to make more water points because there's no water out in this field. I had to make them walk back to that jug water trough right there, and they would always tear that barn lot up and hang around in the shed and this and that. And now we actually got grass growing in there since we gave it some rest. And we got the water out here now, doing mineral water. Just pulled the bag out. That way we can water both sides of the fence, out here and over there. And I got a water point there at that little wire gate where the baling roller's at. There's a water point there, and then there's another one on down further, a couple 100 feet. And I can add on to this garden hose if I need to make it longer to shoot more out there, because I usually just make little rectangle paddocks and strip it along with this field over here. But yep, bulls are doing good, staying healthy, enjoying their vacation. They'll be put back out with the cows around July, end of June, to go back to work. Unrolled a little hay out here, as you can see. Did not put the wire over top of it. I just unrolled it out with the calves, and they did waste more than I'd like to see, but it's fertilizer. It'll go back in the ground. Had to spread out some spots where it was a little thick. It kills the grass out. Takes a while for that grass to come back if you don't spread it out. I just use a pitchfork and spread it out so the grass can grow up. And yep, pats are looking good. Getting a good balance of green and brown. But yep, got a rain the other night, so once we get some warmer temps and some sun, this grass is going to take off and we'll be back to rolling again. From out here, we'll catch y'all another day.